Welcome to Community Mediation, inside the mind of a mediator, in real time. And I'm Jonathan Green, the lead mediator of a community relations unit. Let's take a look in here on the scene of a rally to demonstrate against certain injustices of systemic racism in the United States.
And nothing has changed since the civil rights movement. We're still catching hell.
Yes.
You hear me?
Yes.
We're still catching hell.
Yes.
They're still lynching us.
Yes. Yes, they are.
And if you're going to be organizing, you got to have a strategy.
Yes.
You got to have a strategy that you have organized and mobilized the people towards. Yo, we're tired of people like Al Sharpton, the National Action Network, speaking for us. You see, he's cutting us off now because we don't deserve to talk. We don't have no money. See, we don't have no money. We don't have platform. We don't have CNN. We're not on MSNBC every day. We the one catching bullets.
Yes,
We the one sleeping on the floor to feed our kids. Working at these jobs that you can't even pay rent. Because gentrification is too high. The rent is too high. You go to work, you're making $10, $14, $13. You can't pay rent in none of these cities. In North New Jersey, the rent is like $1,300, $1,400. And you work in
The issues they're speaking to are overall systemic issues that the Black diaspora face throughout many townships and cities within the state and really this nation.
Now you gotta go use your car to go do Uber. So somebody else is getting rich off the car that you bought to take care of yourself. Like, we cannot live like this. And listen to these people that come into our communities when something happens, get a paycheck, they're all millionaires. Al Sharpton is a millionaire. I'm broke. We all broke. We all living paycheck to paycheck. They don't live in these communities. They don't breathe this air. They don't see the families that get kicked out of their homes. Yo, the landlord in the building we live in went inside and dragged people out of their house and locked them out of their house after they came home 5 o'clock on Friday evening. The same building that the National Action Network went and stood over there and co-signed.
Let me explain some of what's going on. So they have a microphone they brought on their own and a speaker system. So they're drowning out the press conference, which was scheduled to occur. And you have to realize that for local grassroots organizers who have been speaking to issues, it's not about the specific issue that brought the cause here today. It's about the overall issues the community has been facing ongoingly.
He said he's scared of me. He threatened of me. You just saw him walking up and down. He don't look scared of me, but he took me to court. Because when those people came to those buildings, I told them, look, I've been paying my money for the last 10 years to work with the kids in the community. I created a nonprofit. I have an after-school program. I have all these things going on with my money, the money from my family. We built this. Yo, if y'all gonna get these buildings with our tax abatements, you gotta work for the community. Man, they took me to court. Al Sharpton took me to court. I ain't like, if I'm lying, I'm flying. They don't respect grassroots. They took me to court. Well, I'm gonna give it to you in a second, man. Yo, before I hand this mic off, hey, yo, the people out there, you took time out of your life to come over here and stand with a family. I mean, they've been brutalized by the system, by the police. It's not just the police, it's the entire system, the structure. They brutalized the family. You left to stand with them. You're the real heroes. You're the heroes. You're not getting paid. Most of these people get paid to be here. But you left. You got to work all day to take care of yourself to survive. But you left.
If you notice, the body language and demeanors of everyone on the scene is relaxed until they realize the speakers are not part of the press conference.
We're here for systemic racism. We're not here for one incident. We're here for once. We're here for systemic
Now the body
racism.
language of the crowd is beginning to change. The tones of voices are being much more direct.
Police right here. I don't think any of y'all can say that. I don't think none of y'all can say y'all got beat up by the police. This isn't a social gathering. Because these situations happen, they come into our town, they create a circus, and they're gone. Show me any of these faces that'll be here when Bridgewater Township, the 5% of the black people here who are getting pulled over by the police, where are you guys gonna be when they gotta fight the town by themselves? I'm only 15 minutes away. I'll be here.
So at this time, I've orchestrated my unit, who was previously positioned various spots throughout the crowd in the circle, and now I've called them on our headsets to a certain area to be able to de-escalate the scene if necessary.
county. And this community got to fight that. It's not about a social gathering. It's about changing this forever. Yes. If you can promise me after this will change forever, then I'll support Zakai as personal. But if you can't, then we got to make this about what happened, not about who it happened to. It got to be about what happened, not who it happened to.
Good afternoon, everyone.
We're not here for a social gathering.
No, we are not here for a social gathering. So y'all should check in. Y'all should find out from the community.
Find out from the community. Do y'all know that there's a town hall meeting tomorrow? You could have hosted this tomorrow.
I'm from here. You nobody ever tell him talk. Let him talk. Nobody is insulting you here.
So if you notice, the crowd is kind of converging slightly. Some of the members from the podium are coming out to speak to the individuals who are part of this group.
This is bigger than Zakai. I'm sorry to tell you that. This has been going on in this township, in the neighboring townships, in this county. I'm 35. Before I was born. So imagine how many years. I'm here to support Zakai, but to support the bigger picture. Because I was Zakai. I've been harassed from this police department from 12 years old to 18 years old. Yeah, I mean, I've been oppressed from this police department. They don't. He can keep trying to be rude and disrespectful, but see, unity, somebody should have came over, hey brother, let's talk afterwards. Because we are here for the bigger picture.
They just gave a solution to what the issue was.
Yeah, I mean, hey, yo, man, hey, no. Y'all not gonna
But their approach is trying to take their mic and cut them off, silence their voice.
We support you. We don't put Trump. Yo, and Rodwell and Swavey brothers were kidnapped from in front of their house. There's nobody over there fighting for them brothers. They're locked up right now. They don't come around and fight for them. You not come over here and jerk this down. We're not jerking rep.
The gentleman at the podium is asking for help. I'm attempting to make eye contact.
Yo, Sharpton, Trump, they ain't leading nobody. They're here to make money. They're about to explain our condition, how we suffering, and they're going to get paid. All of them are millionaires. They don't stay in our communities. Why are we listening to them? Why they speak for us? They don't speak for me. They don't speak for the slaves on the plantation. We speak in cotton every single day. These guys don't pick no cotton no more. They ain't Massa House. So
You hear me say, excuse me.
Malcolm X told us about these people. We just celebrated Black History Month. Why we celebrating Black History Month and we don't follow nothing they tell us to do? Why we following it? Come on, man. We don't see what is the strategy? How are you building institutions?
I notice the lady in the red fleece comes out. So to be a buffer, I come out. But that encourages her to advance more.
Don't cut me off. You never cut me off on the street when I'm fighting by myself. When I'm kicking, can't get out of my house. You don't fight with me. So don't cut me off now so they can come. Real talk. You can ask me whatever you want to ask me. Ask us the questions.
I asked if I can ask him a question.
Ask us the question.
My question was, can we have a conversation?
At 5 o'clock. A lot of y'all didn't even know it was a town hall at 5 o'clock. How many y'all gonna be at the town hall? 5 o'clock tomorrow. From 5 p.m.
I answer his question, I will be at the town hall.
The police chief will be there and the director and the township director. How many of y'all gonna be there? How many of y'all gonna be there? I wanna see y'all. The same system you fight. It's right behind you. It's right behind you. This is the address. We don't know how many of you guys are going to be there tomorrow, because this is what really makes a difference.
At that time, you see me walk closer within the circle because he invites me in when he says something, and I was unable to hear him. At that time, I engage with the main person who is most passionate about his views on the microphone. I asked him what was the issue.
I got a 14-year-old too. I got a 14-year-old child too. That's why I'm out here for. I got a 14-year-old child too. And guess what I did yesterday? I walked with the teenagers to Bridgewater. Well, a lot of you adults didn't even show up. Teenagers Monday walked from here to the police station, and a lot of y'all didn't even show up for them. And young brother, you get a lesson in activism. Our liberation is not on people getting paychecks. Our liberation is building institutions to liberate black folks. Not people
We tired of these gatekeepers. We tired of these gatekeepers trying to speak for us. That's why we're here. Because we're tired of paid faces coming out to speak for us. It is not productive. They don't come with a plan. They come with their hands out. They come to exploit a situation that was already going on. So now, if they show up when something's happening and no attention is on it, that's when we'll say they're putting in work. But these gatekeepers like Al Sharpton and these collectives of reverence, that come out only to exploit our pain. That's what this is. This is poverty pimping. They are exploiting our pain. I understand. I respect the mother. I respect
At no point in time did I ever feel the body language or nonverbal cues were of a threatening nature to myself, to the general public, or to my unit.
That will stop this from going on. We are the people. We demand change. We don't want
There were no clenched fists and no clenched jaws. The gentlemen who were speaking had passion about a subject they were passionate about. At this point in time, I asked if they could use the podium that the organizers had at the front. I'm communicating the answer of yes. At this time, I back away because I was unsure of his hostility level, which turned out to be 0.
Hey, yo, I don't want to stand on any mic they're on. Yo, I'm a revolutionary. I'm a liberationist. I'm not an assimilationist. I don't make money off our people. I don't want to stand nowhere they stand.
Now another member of the public interjects themselves. The person asking the question, "Have you been beaten up by the police?" attempts to thwart my approach by asking a question he did not know I could answer yes to. I have been beaten up by law enforcement.
Who has been beaten up by the police? I don't want to go. Okay, that's a small group. So anybody who has been beaten up by the police, we don't want to hear you. We don't want to hear you.
My hand is
We don't want to
raised.
hear you. We don't want to. If you ain't been beaten up by the police, your opinion don't count. They shouldn't be able to go to any city. They shouldn't be able to speak. Check in next time. Next time, check in. This is our press conference. Finally, the people are standing up. The people are standing up right now. We'll not be exploited. There will not be no civil suit until you take off. There will not be no civil suit. What's the plan? Pastor Bartley hung up on the police.
This speaker has a point because communication with law enforcement is necessary to bring resolve to issues of public safety and issues of discrimination and bias.
Somebody in Bridgewater's going to get pulled over, not you, Reverend Bartley. They work with the police. I'm willing to die for what I believe. I don't care. Anybody who's connected with Mount Pittman, you can cut me off right now because I'm willing to die for what I believe in. And I believe in getting justice for everybody. Every black person. Every black person. We're not going to be here next month with the same attorney talking the same thing. It's not going to happen. It should have stopped with Trayvon. It should have stopped with Mike Brown. It should have stopped with Freddie Gray. It should have stopped with Sandra Bland. It should have stopped with Breonna Taylor. It should have stopped with all of them. But we're back here again. And we're doing the same thing in front of the same cameras with the same fucking suits. Sick of that. We're sick of that. We're sick of that. This is our press conference. They don't, and the cameras don't come out either till we act like this. The cameras don't come out either till we act like this.
In the center of the screen, slightly to the left, a brown jacket inserts himself, which I attempt to de-escalate him and ask him to back away as I continued my rapport establishment.
You got Pastor Bartley hanging up the phone when he could have created some dialogue. Come on. Come on. I don't care. We are just we're not going to There's no unity. You from Somerset, bro. This man got beat up.
At this point in time, you see one of the organizers come grab my shoulder, standing next to me, and asking for assistance in moving the press conference. I notify my team on our earpieces, and they start to facilitate a separate session, also known as a caucus.
No, you're not. You know.
Yeah, okay, so that need to be known. We're trying to stop that. It should have stopped with your son. It should have stopped with your son. We're not doing that. That's right, the Shaw press conference. The Shaw press conference. Nah. You can't with no people.
Are we here all for the same cause?
So
am I. Listen. Hello. Hello. Are we not all here for the same cause?
At this point in time, I'm still attempting de-escalation
It's
techniques.
not about
Because the circle has collapsed, I'm still communicating, attempting to get phone numbers of individuals who had those concerns to continue the conversation and address their concerns. The crowd begins to move inside, so that way the press conference could occur. However, the audience was stopped at the door for security and began to form a line to enter the building. After finishing conflict resolution and de-escalation outside, I receive a call from one of the organizers who was inside the building. He requests my team's presence as they discuss the plan to continue the press conference. My team entered into the room in which we discovered the press conference would last 15 minutes to begin at 12:35 p.m. and conclude at 12:50 p.m. As the table got up and my team stood in the back corner, I interjected and asked, should we notify the public? I suggested for de-escalation and crowd control and conflict resolution purposes that an announcement be made so that way there is transparency to the general public about what is occurring. An announcement was made by the lead mediator that only the press and the parents of the child would be allowed in the room for the press conference. As mediator, I did notify the crowd that I was acting as a neutral party between all parties to deliver information. At that time, I allowed the floor to be opened up to anyone who wanted to address concerns of any injustice or maltreatment suffered through incidents of bias and or discrimination. I backed away and people began to voice their concerns